Now, let me just take a moment to highlight the Aspire Excellence Award. So do let me know, those of you that are online, if you do have students that have engaged in the Aspire programme yet, if you're familiar with it, or if it's something that's very new to you. If you haven't, or if your students are partway through the programme, they may be on their way to achieve the Aspire Excellence Award, but you might not know what this exactly is. So let me remind you, the Aspire Excellence Award is the highest accolade that students within the undergraduate community can actually achieve throughout our programme. This is a very first for us at Dermalogica to have such a high level certification and recognition. But you may hear us refer to this as the ultimate Dermalogica undergraduate student status, and that's because it is that highest level of something that we currently provide. But the Aspire Excellence Award will actually be achieved when students complete a certain amount of the pathway. So they do have to complete the entire pathway, but that doesn't mean every workshop. It actually works out to be about 12 sessions for them to receive this status, but we have 22 sessions for students to choose from. So we have skills-based workshops, sessions that are specifically designed to enhance industry insight and employability, which Candice is going to talk to us a little bit more about. And we even have online modules that students can work through in their own time, which all kind of evolve around their career next steps and supporting that step into employment. So it's really extensive. And if you do need any more information about what the pathway entails, you can reach out to me at the end of the session. I'm going to pop some resources in the chat for you. But most importantly, when students receive this award, they also receive a bundle to help them promote themselves. So you may or may not know, but we have actually created a suite of assets that students can utilize to elevate their status and promote that they've actually achieved this award. One thing that they have access to is a little banner that they can attach to their emails. And this is to allow them to attach it to emails when they are applying for roles, when they may be popping in a job application, registering interest within a particular employer. So they can actually tie that to the email and then promote themselves as Aspire Excellence Award holders. In addition, they also receive a suite of social media assets. So again, we've created a little bundle that they can pop onto their Instagram, onto their LinkedIn, whatever profiles and platforms that they're utilizing. We know that the world of social media is so strong and powerful in terms of raising your professional profile. And we really want to provide them the tools to elevate themselves and maximize on this status. So if you weren't aware, definitely flag to your students to keep an eye on their inbox when they have unlocked this award and to look out for these various resources coming through. But in addition, we've also been busy in the background working on various activities to further highlight and spotlight these students. So next slide for me, Kat, please. So one thing that we've been doing, or one option that students have, is they can actually feature on our LinkedIn profile. So when they receive the Aspire Excellence Award, they will be asked if they would like us to promote them on our LinkedIn. Now, this professional platform has about 11,000 followers. And, I'm sure many of you are on LinkedIn yourself. So you will know that this is a fantastic platform to engage with future employers. So we want to spotlight Aspire Excellence Award holders on our LinkedIn to create that employer engagement. But in addition to that, we've also featured the programme and some updates in our Skinsider newsletter. So the Skinsider, which you may receive yourselves as stockists, goes out to about 5,000 to 6,000 of our professional skin therapists. And it's a little bit like a newsletter or a brochure. And what we've been trying to do is keep the Aspire programme in there so that our professional tribe of Dermalogica therapists, that they are really in the know with the programme, so that they become familiar with what the program entails, but most importantly, that they can recognize these brilliant students when they approach their business. So if they see the Aspire Excellence Award or they see Aspire Employability, that they recognize immediately that that is a particular accolade that Dermalogica offer. And then hopefully by doing this initiative, we're going to provide that competitive edge for each of our Aspire students that go through the program. So I do hope that that excites you, and that's some exciting initiatives there. I have 2 more updates to share with you. And I'm very pleased to say that from April, nominations for the Student of the Year Award will be open. And most importantly, we have made a little change to this. So we know that some feedback from you previously was that you wanted to receive the certificate and the gifted skin kit to provide your students and present to them when they actually receive this award. So we're pleased to announce that we're going to be going back to doing this, and you will receive the certificate and also the student kit to allow you to present this to your brilliant students. But I wanted to just take a moment to highlight and flag that this, one of the greatest benefits of this award is that it unlocks access to the Dermalogica expert pathway. So this means students who have got a real kind of passion for the skincare industry, maybe they love Dermalogica, maybe, you know, they're Aspire Excellence Award holders and they're really keen at progressing their skills and learning more about the skin, treatment techniques, and Dermalogica, and that, you know, by attending this expert pathway and receiving the expert status is really going to elevate their skills, improve their confidence, and support them when they do promote themselves, as opposed to some of our Dermalogica stockists, if that's what they were interested in. So a brilliant benefit that we would love to, that we, you know, we're proud to be able to offer our students, which is something that we usually only reserve for our Dermalogica stockists. And just to touch on Student of the Year, before I forget, I wanted to just remind you that if you do have upcoming presentations where you are going to be hosting some kind of award ceremony for your students, do just touch base with your commercial team, your business growth executive, and maybe even myself and Stephen, and let's see if there is any opportunity for us to be there in person and to support that award ceremony and help you with, you know, presenting these awards to your students. We can't make promises that will be in all of them, although I would absolutely love to go on tour and visit every single one of them, but we will absolutely do our best to feature if we can. And then just one more update from me. I wanted to pop on your radars that for the very first time, the first time ever, we will be hosting a Dermalogica Careers Fair. Now, the finer details are yet to be determined, but to give you a little bit of an insight into this, we're going to use this as an opportunity to introduce students to the potential careers at Dermalogica. It will be a digital event and we'll have a focus on our retail skin therapist roles. And prior to the event, they'll be able to register their interest if they are interested in particular roles. But what I would love to know from each of you online today is, when do you think this event would be, you know, when should we host this event? When will it benefit the students most? When are they thinking about taking that step into employment? So provide us some feedback and we'll keep you updated with the finer details when it's going to go ahead, and hopefully we can pop this on at the best time for the students. So that's all from me, everybody. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hand over to Candice.
Thanks, Rosie, and really good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your lunch hour to join us today. And thank you, Rosie, for inviting me to speak. And I wanted to just do a short session today talking about employability and what we can do to assist our future professionals in accelerating their employability prospects, because the job market is always an interesting one. There's a lot of demand for highly skilled therapists, but what is it that employers are actually looking for? And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today, as to what's happening from a sort of wider society and market forces point of view that's shifting what we anticipate our future professionals actually need, and what types of skills are employers keeping their eyes out for. So the first thing that I sort of wanted to touch on is this idea that society is shifting, and there are a lot of changes happening. I think the pandemic has certainly accelerated a change in lots of different behaviors. It's accelerated a change in our interaction and our connection with technology. It's also shifted our viewpoints on well-being, and it's shifted our viewpoints, wider society's viewpoints on the value of our industry. But we've also seen other big movements come to the fore. And I think over the last couple of years, we've certainly seen a huge focus on diversity, inclusion, representation, what is happening. And our industry is by no means excluded. In fact, our industry's had a huge spotlight on it in terms of whether it's representative of everybody in society. So that's been a big shift, and it's continuing to move forward, and we're seeing some incredibly positive and productive change in lots of areas of the industry. But we're also seeing a big drive to sustainability and how we need to take better care and better action. Again, the beauty industry, the skincare industry, we're under the spotlight because we're considered to be one of the industries that is contributing to a lot of the issues around single-use plastics and disposable items, and not necessarily having the right sustainable mindset that we need to move into the future with. And how can we change that? The British Beauty Council, last year set up the Sustainable Beauty Coalition, and there's lots of drive and initiative to try and move our industry forward. So what does it mean for employers? Well, it means that employers actually need to adapt, and employers have to make much more conscious, considered decisions about how they operate their business, but they also need to be able to engage their staff and their teams in different ways of doing things and new ways of doing things, but possibly also having new talent help them change how they do things and how they can approach things. And that's the wonderful thing about how, society and time moves, because as a new generation comes through, that generation brings with it fresh perspective, fresh ideas, new ways of tackling things. But as educationalists, it's really important that there is a focus on helping those future professionals have the kinds of skills that underpin that creativity and help them to leverage that creative thinking and that new way of doing things, but in a way that's relevant and appropriate to the industry that they're in. And so just learning your trade skills, they have a value, but employers need more than just the trade skills. They need talent and new employees and future professionals that are going to help them drive the industry forward, keep the industry moving forward, and help their businesses survive. Because the customer is looking in, and the customer is making decisions about whether our business and our way of operating actually aligns with their value set. If we put ourselves in the customer's shoes these days, we are questioning. We're questioning whether a company's taking enough action about their sustainability initiatives, their people, their purpose. That we're interested in all of that, and we make decisions about whether we want to engage with that business or not. And our industry, no matter how big or small our businesses are also going to experience that from their clients. They're going to experience that decision making about whether the client chooses to come and have that service or that treatment with you, or chooses to buy that product with you. And so that ability for businesses to adapt and to move forward in a way that's relevant and appropriate to how society is moving is incredibly important. And that will continue to be propelled by our future generation of skin therapists and beauty professionals. So I wanted to just touch on what are the skills that we need for equity, because there's so much important focus on representation and making sure that the whole of society is included in our conversation. And I know that for all of you in the college environment, you're focusing on delivering your qualifications, your regulated qualifications, in line with the National Occupational Standards, which were recently updated and now have a broader scope of things that we need to touch on, and that we need to kind of make sure that students aren't just learning to analyze skin in a one-dimensional format. They're needing to use those skills in a much broader context and understand more about skins, in a much wider frame of reference. But it's not just about the physical skills in terms of the vocational trade skill that we're teaching them. There's also other skills that they need, softer skills, or what we also at Dermalogica like to call human skills, which interconnect and intersect with their trade skills or hard skills, as it were. And the first one that I've popped on the slide there is about cultural intelligence. And I think cultural intelligence is an idea that we all have in different sectors of society, different ideals, different norms that are associated with what is beautiful, what is healthy, what is, how should I look, how should I represent myself? What do I think are the myths or the truths about how I look after my skin, how I look after my hair? And cultural intelligence is the idea that we can have an awareness that different cultures may not see skincare, well-being, health in exactly the same way that we do, because the frame of reference can be different. And that means that as professionals, we have a responsibility to be culturally sensitive in how we manage our conversations, because one of the core things that we teach undergraduate students in a consultation situation is to learn and not to judge. Because if I learn and I gather information from you, I can understand how I can customize and flex and adapt and do the right things for you as the individual. But I need to also have that sensitivity in the way that I handle those conversations, and an awareness that your perspective or viewpoint may not be the same as mine. But how we can leverage the commonalities is really important. So the common denominators for us are about health and well-being. So we need to think about how we can really bring that into the conversation and leverage that. The other thing that I think is also really important is what I would call considered inclusion. So that's not inclusion because someone told you that you had to include a certain sector of society, or somehow you were not being representative, and therefore you now have a focus on that particular sector of society. For me, considered inclusion is the fact that I've actually pre-thought and pre-considered the differences and the requirements and the needs of different sectors of society. And I think a good example of this is for people who may have a disability or a difference. And, we might be talking about neurodiversity, we might be talking about physical differences, we may be talking about learning or cognitive differences or disabilities, we may be talking about sensory disabilities. But actually, it's really important that if we suggest that our industry is inclusive and we're training therapists to be inclusive, that we're doing that in a way that demonstrates we've pre-thought, what would I do in this situation if I had somebody that had a sensory challenge, if I had somebody who had a mobility challenge, how would I do that? Not waiting for that person to come and then I'm floundering because I don't quite know what I'm supposed to do in that situation, because that puts any professional in a vulnerable place. And to me, even though I want to willingly support a client who has a challenge, I don't know how. So considered inclusion is about us pre-thinking, and that's part of training and part of learning and developing our skills in a way that makes us be able to practice in the way that we need to in today's world. Of course, communication and trade skills are central to what we do. Communication is a real challenge in today's society because we've moved to a digital age, and so people primarily communicate through digital media. Young people that communicate more through digital media than they do actually in human and in person. And so developing communication skills, being able to read body language and signals, being able to understand how to interact with your customers in a way that is respectful, in a way that is considered and appropriate and relevant to the services and the conversations that you're having is really, really important. And being able to use your communication skills to make the right choices with your trade skills. Because a lot of ultimately what we're doing as professionals is we are decision making. We're decision making at every step of everything that we do. We're decision making about the right choice of treatment for you. We're decision making about your suitability. We're decision making about the adaptations we need to make. We're decision making about your skin and the products that are going to be right for your skin and what we do about that. We're making decisions about our well-being choices within that service and what's relevant for you. So communication and trade skills have to help us be better decision makers, because that's what makes us high quality, competent professionals. And then the final thing that I've got down there is about occupational awareness. And I know that even when I trained, and I'm sure all of you do, we try to teach our students about occupational awareness and being conscious of themselves, looking after themselves, because that's the future of their careers. But occupational awareness also needs to consider what happens when I adapt. So we can, you know, focus on our occupational awareness and think about, you know, my everyday and how I'm moving and how I'm providing my service, how I'm carrying out my techniques. But what happens when the client requires me to adapt and my equipment can't adapt for me? I have to do the adapting. We've talked about that considered inclusion. We've got to pre-think that. And so we need to pre-think our occupational awareness as well and think about how we look after ourselves when the client needs something different from us. So those skills, I think, are going to set the precedent for high quality therapists that come out into industry and can really leverage their skills for great impact in those businesses that they join. And employers will be highly interested in being able to capitalize on those skills. You will notice that actually, as part of our employability series at Dermalogica, we expanded our offering in terms of those employability workshops and webinars. And, you know, I'm really pleased that we've been able to introduce some subject matters into those courses, like dealing with disability, adapting for disability and difference. We look at things like the right language, how to communicate with the client, but also what are the things we need to know about and how can we support those clients. We also look at skin diversity, and we're talking a little bit more in skin diversity about cultural intelligence. We're also looking at things like gender neutral services. You know, historically, the skincare and beauty industry has been very heavily female dominated, and that can make us have an unconscious bias in the way that we behave and perform our services and carry out our interactions. And actually we need to try and undo that and open things up a little bit. And gender seems very much the case that, you're considered either end of the spectrum, but gender isn't either end of the spectrum. There's a whole scale of gender, and that brings with it skin challenges and skin issues. So being able to communicate and have the right skills and awareness across, whether we're talking about race and skin, whether we're talking about ability or disability, whether we're talking about gender, whatever it is, we can have much more considered and inclusive practice that really makes us stand out as professionals. The other area that's really accelerating is this area of sustainability. And what interests me a lot is that a lot of the conversation around sustainability drives to skincare products and brands. And it really puts a spotlight on what is your brand doing? What is this product doing? What is the value set of this product? Are they sustainable? What are they using? Do they have a good policy around their package? Can you recycle? But sustainability is not only the responsibility of brands and products and suppliers. Sustainability is the responsibility of everyone. And how do we instill in our generation, our future generation, how to be more sustainable in their practice, so that as an industry overall, we are being better at how we protect our planet and how we drive towards having a successful industry that equally respects the world around us and the resources that we have. And so for me, this is a conversation that's really important. It's not just about, is your product recyclable? It's about all the practical things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, being more efficient in terms of energy, more efficient in terms of water, more economical with product, not being wasteful, really being considered about what we use, how we use it, and what we're doing to be active in this arena, to be better at the way that we deliver our services, not just in the way that we produce products. Our sustainable working practice session, employability session, really zones in on that. And yes, we touch on the things that can help us in terms of value set, pick out the brands and suppliers we want to work with. But it's also very much about how can we as skincare professionals take active action on a daily basis in everything that we're doing, not just when we're choosing a product line to work with. So that really is my summary session. And what I would say is that, ultimately, skilled professionals are in demand. They are. We know, because Dermalogica is out there. We're trying to recruit skin therapists, and we're looking for great, high quality skin therapists that can fulfill even our needs as a business. And I know there are thousands of businesses out there looking for great staff. And I think what's really important for your students is not to only present themselves at interview with the skills that they think employers expect to see, which is their trade skills. They need to be able to demonstrate that, their communication and their trade skills, of course, but they need to leverage the other things that they have in their arsenal that makes them stand out to those employers. And hopefully some of these employability sessions will give them the confidence to put that viewpoint and perspective to the forefront, and they can demonstrate to employers that they are not only engaged with our industry and how we move our industry forward, but that they're engaged with themselves and their personal development as professionals, and that makes them extremely attractive employees. And undoubtedly, from your perspective as colleges and further education institutions, what you want to see is you want to see those students of yours go out, get placements, and become highly successful members of our industry. So thank you so very, very much for letting me come and share some thoughts with you today. And I do hope that you managed to get your students onto some of those employability series workshops, and that you find them valuable and helpful in helping your students to take a step up. Thanks, Rosie. And I think I'm handing over to Stephen.
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you so much for that, Candice and Rosie. Delighted to be here with all the college lecturers in the UK. And interesting enough, just looking at where you're all based. So we've got people from Scotland, Ireland, England and Wales. So welcome. You've got somebody local to me, I think, which is Sally at Buxton. So from a little local wave, there you go. Hello. Fantastic to see you all here today, whether you're on your working lunch or whether you're on directed study time. It's a pleasure for ourselves as part of the college team to meet with you. And I wanted to really touch a point on refreshing your knowledge on what your business growth executive, the person that comes and visits your college, or myself and Rosie and the team can actually partner with you and support your plans for the college to either become more commercial, or whether it be more with an educational support as well. So in essence, then you have access to all our Dermalogica education. If you're not up to date with that, then please reach out and we can obviously direct you in the right way. We've got QR codes coming out of our ears at the moment, so we can share those with you and really display them around the college, and it will really help to get everybody fully engaged with our college partnership. Along with that, the BGEs will do regular business growth reviews with you. You've now got complete access to all the monthly promotions that we have, and the PST promotions, the professional skin therapists promotions that we have from other accounts that all the colleges can now use. And I'll share some of that with you shortly. We also have joint partnership plans with some colleges that are really growing and want to fully commit with Dermalogica and have a partnership plan that sits well with them. So how we can support them from a quarter or a half yearly stage, and what engagement or even visibility can we have using merchandising and marketing budgets to support the college. As you know, we also offer you a pro trade discount. So that works with the local price list that we have at the moment. And that really helps you to get the right products in place, utilize the professional products on your communal trolley in your departments, and actually work forward. And there's a new thing called the Digital Partnership Programme, which you may want to discuss with your BGE. That really gives you a great opportunity to share Dermalogica as a brand on your open days or events within the college, or even look at skin solver sessions where we can do face mapping consultations with services and really put your beauty department on the map across all the other departments. I know myself as a previous head of department in a college, getting everybody involved with beauty or hair at the time to try and engage with our department, our services that we offer, is very, very important. So we can help you with that along that journey. Thanks, Kat. Okay, so the here and now and recent activity that we have, and also some skin side information. I've just put together a little slide here that's visible for some of the things that you may or may not have seen with recent meetings with your BGE, or even online, or even through Mobilize. So we're going to look at some of the things that you may have missed or things that are new. And I've got something very new and exciting to show you, that if we're all quiet, it's not out till the end of March, so you're the first to see it. And I have checked with my marketing department at Dermalogica, and they're happy to share that with you, which is a first really, which is fabulous. Thanks, Kat. Okay, so the Awaken Peptide Eye Gel launch recently came through. You may or may not have seen this from a commercial standpoint. How we're supporting you with sales and for colleges is that now you can have all this amazing merchandising in place, and you get that delivered free with your order. So we can really utilize that in reception area, on some fabulous displays in the colleges, or even on little hotspots within the department. And that's all actually pre-done, pre-printed, and to give that visibility and that professional partnership with that colleges from Dermalogica's perspective. Thanks, Kat. Okay, some other things from our Pro range. We've got some exfoliant treatments that you can see on here, and also the multivitamin Pro Recovery Mask in that limited edition packaging that you may have seen. That was to celebrate the Year of the Tiger, hence the packaging you can see there from Chinese New Year. Thanks, Kat. And then also we've got the circular hydration serum that's just launched recently this week. So again, if you don't know about that already, then do reach out. Maybe your BGE can be lucky enough to give you a little sample of that from their boot stock, but don't tell them I told you that, that'd be fine. And then next you'll see from ClearStart is the new post breakout fix. So that's actually being launched at the end of the month. So you're the first to see that with our ClearStart range. ClearStart gives the college a great opportunity to utilize, again, access to all the students and really promote that within the college. And Rosie and I have got some great initiatives that we can help you with from education and commercial to kind of bring that together and make that partnership even stronger. Thanks, Kat. So we're looking at the Pro range at the moment. Rosie and I are really working on a great project to look at your professional trolley in colleges or your communal trolley. And Rosie's using her expertise along with the team to highlight that and how we can use those Pro products in relation to education. So whether you're doing that with level 2 or level 3 students. And again, we're going to have a little bit of a breakdown on the list on how we can kind of mirror and align those services to our Pro products. Thanks, Kat. So our Pro Services bundle within commercial will allow the module to give you a lot more flexibility. You can personalize that with your budget. You can still follow with your purchasing orders. There's nothing new to learn there. And some of you are ordering via the My Account option. So you'll get to see all these promotions already in place and how the Pro Services bundle can basically increase your offering within the department in the college and ensure that you're given that fabulous Dermalogica experience. Thanks, Kat. So this is a slide that, again, you know, any of these visibilities that you want to use within the college, we're happy to share. We've already got this on our marketing and merchandising section online. So if you're doing this time of the year, colleges are redoing their price lists. They're looking to celebrate Student of the Year, I think, as Janice put in the chat before. So again, we can utilize that and really share the success of the Department of Beauty with Dermalogica and share the Student of the Year or share what Pro services you're now offering within the whole team. Thanks. Student kits are my personal little challenge. We have some fantastic student kits that we have for use for level 2 and level 3 students and beyond. As you know, you can access these directly as a bulk order with some discount from your business growth executive, or we even have a code online that the students can order this directly and it gives them the discount online as well. So they're a fabulous way of actually promoting that partnership with the products and utilizing this at home themselves. But let's face it, most students just want the bag. They just want to have that branded bag so they can walk around and really celebrate that partnership with Dermalogica. Thanks, Kat. And then this is some of the QR codes. Thank you to Kat and the team that we've put together. You'll see this if you're coming down to Pro Beauty in London in April. We've got loads of QR codes that go straight to the undergraduate education program, ones that you can share amongst your colleagues to join Mobilize as a lecturer team, or this particular one, which you can feel free to screenshot on your phones, will take you straight through to student registration. This we felt would really support the students that are maybe having some technical difficulties with a tablet or phones, and makes it really simple for them to fully engage with Dermalogica, register their details, and just a bit of housekeeping for us all. If they could make sure that they add their college that they're attending to their registration, it just allows us all to track where they're currently studying, and obviously for our numbers within education as well. Thanks, Kat. And then Rosie is very passionate about these Dermalogica Experience Days. The BGE team will be going out talking to you about these, utilising our training centres around the country, Derby and York, for example, or even down here at Leatherhead at Surrey. And we've got some amazing courses and engagement with the lecturing team. So please reach out to us and we'll share some more details on that. And I think from a commercial team, just want to say a big thank you for everybody for this first event. It's a bit of a milestone. Thanks so much for attending. It's lovely to see you from all the 4 quadrants of the UK. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thank you. I think I'm handing over to Kat now, I think.
Hi there. Thanks so much for that, Stephen. And hi, everyone. So great to have you all here today. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the session. We would love to hear your thoughts about what you think about the event today, how it supported you, if there's anything else that you would like to see from our lecturer link-ups. I'm not sure if Rosie mentioned, but we will be doing them 3 times a year. So please do give us some feedback to see kind of what you would like to include in future and what you enjoyed about today.